opposition to the dictators that hijacked the elections in Iran. He was kidnapped in a way that his ribs were broken. He is kept in solitary confinement in an undisclosed location. My dad dedicated his life in order to depose the Shah and help with the establishment of the Islamic Republic of Iran. A republic that was supposed to be free and respect people's vote, voices and opinion. My father spent years fighting Saddam, who illegally entered Iran's sovereign land and imposed a war against the Iranian people. He fought along with his brother, my uncle Saeed, who was eventually killed in the war, and millions of other brave Iranians. He fought for my rights. He fought for the rights of Iranians. They rewarded him by putting him behind the bars in solitary confinement. In his post-election press conference, Ahmadinejad said, "We have close to absolute freedom in Iran," and he called upon the Western powers to learn from the democracy in Iran. He, however, forgot to explain how his democracy manifests itself. He did not explain how his great vision of democracy includes breaking into an opposition's publishing house, taking books and other materials, and vandalizing the place. Nowhere in his speech did he explain the freedom of democracy involved when four huge men walk up to a home and threaten to break in when the occupant is a terrified 19-year-old girl. Says she's home alone. Mr. Ahmadinejad, is this your democracy that destroyed my father's publishing house? Is this your democracy that terrorized my sister? For them, I must not and I can't be silent. Your so-called freedom is clearly shown when a general warrant is only shown to a few of those arrested. Or is it shown clearer still when they're arrested without warrant, without cause, when their only crime is standing up and speaking up in the name of true freedom and true democracy? In the name of freedom and democracy, we must not be silent. By now, we all know the story of Neda, the story and the images of how she lived and how she teared blood and died. While Ahmadinejad insists that foreign enemy took aim at her heart and fired at her, the private militia Basij ID card of her killer has been confirmed by the doctor who was tried to help her and was standing next to her. The Basijis are supposed to protect people, but instead they're firing at defenseless freedom-seeking Iranians. If true, it was the foreigners who killed Neda, why doesn't the government forces allow mosques to have funeral services? For the innocent soul, we must not be silent. And what of Sohrab? He was gone for 26 days. His mother begged the authorities to tell her about his son's whereabouts. The authorities general's office told her that her son is in heaven. After 26 days, Sohrab's family was told that Sohrab has died. He was shot in the heart. He was later found alongside so many who have been murdered. He was the lucky one because he was identified. His family could at least know what had become of him. What was his crime? What was he also shot by foreigners? If so, why were the attendees told to be silent or the funeral would be cancelled? In their name, in the name of Sohrab, we must never be silent. Ahmadinejad, the price paid for your absolute freedom has been extremely high, and it keeps getting higher. The list of people killed keeps getting longer. When they killed, were they all killed by foreigners? Aren't you the one responsible for protecting our country from invaders, for keeping our borders safe? How is it that these foreigners can walk around our country holding guns? No one in the world believes you anymore. We all know Iranians are being beaten and murdered under your orders and those that support you. The only foreigners are the ones you trained, as confirmed by one of your army commanders, and brought into Iran to be more ruthless than your homegrown thugs. Tell me this, has one of your children have ever been beaten with a baton? Have they been arrested, tortured? Have you felt the pain of a mother crying over her son's body, or tears of a father who will never see his daughters in a wedding gown? For tears, for the pain, for our fathers, mothers, even your children, we will never be silent.